Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? Turkey talking about finally compensating Iraq for the oil they were getting from Kurdistan. This is going to be a big step if they actually do it. So let's get into this. Before we get started, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. If you're thinking about buying gold and silver, head on over to our friends at Miles Franklin. The link will be down below in the description. When you make your purchase, make sure you use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and they'll take care of you. If you have any additional questions, you can reach us over here at this phone number or over here at this particular email. For all orders over $10,000, reach out by email and we'll make sure that you get a great deal. So come on over to Miles Franklin and add to your precious metal inventory. I just want to take a quick second to say thank you to all the people who have started purchasing from Miles Franklin, and making sure you use the promo code Pimpy, or just call that phone number down there below, or even email at that email address down below if you have any questions. So I'm very pleased at how Miles Franklin has been handling my listeners. That's very important to me. And you guys will get some really good deals, especially with everything going on with gold and silver. All right, so what am I talking about? Well, Turkey to compensate Iraq for stolen Kurdistan oil in a scheme that enriched Erdogan's family. You can see over here, look at Turkey's wealth fund, led by Erdogan, restricts audit to hide his corruption. So remember I was telling you that countries are setting up these wealth funds? It's meant to be there for a rainy day. So if oil prices really crash, they have something to lean back on like Kuwait does. That's what Iraq is trying to set up. But if you have your politicians dipping in there and stealing money out of it, it isn't going to help future generations. Turkish taxpayers are facing a substantial financial burden, with a staggering $1.5 billion in compensation coupled with over $500 million in interest owed to the Iraqi federal government. This penalty stems from illicit oil operations, which entailed the transportation and sale of oil from Iraq's Kurdistan region that was mainly conducted by a company owned by the family of the Turkish president. That's very corrupt, don't you think? On April the 10th, 2023, Iraq petitioned the U.S. District Court of the District of Columbia to enforce a ruling requiring Turkey to compensate Iraq in the amount of $1.47 billion, stemming from Turkey's violation of the pipeline agreement in which it was involved in the facilitation of crude oil exports from Iraq's Kurdistan region, despite Baghdad's repeat objection. Well, look, if you can get it on a good deal, Baghdad's decision to file a lawsuit in the U.S. District Court followed Ankara's refusal to pay the compensation imposed by the International Chamber of Commerce on February 13th, 2023. The penalty arising from the ICC and U.S. federal court's decision is linked to illegal oil transactions orchestrated by Power Transpetro, a company run by the son-in-law of Turkish President Erdogan. Despite objections from Iraqi federal government, the Erdogan administration facilitated the transportation and scale of hundreds of millions of barrels of oil from the Kurdistan region of Iraq. This was initially accomplished on land by oil tankers and subsequently via pipeline connecting Iraq's Kirkuk oil fields to the Turkish port of Sina. So remember we spoke about this. They wanted to turn the oil back on, but there was problems. They kept saying the pipeline had some repairs, and I was wondering what the delays were for. Then later on I found out that they wanted to be compensated for the oil that was already taken before they opened up the pipeline again. But if you look right here, if this is true, if the oil company that's controlling the pipeline is ran by President Erdogan's family, I don't think they're going to continue that way. There's going to have to be some kind of other agreement. That's just my opinion on it. We know that Iraq was looking forward to doing this. We spoke about this. There's another avenue of revenue for Iraq. You hear me say this all the time. Look, there's all kinds of agreements out there, handshakes, and they say they're going to pay the salaries, or they're going to do this, they're going to do that. And I say, don't get too excited. You better wait until they actually do it. Because everybody makes a big deal about it. Oh, the oil's going to start going to Turkey, yay, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's exciting, but don't count your chickens before they hatch. There's always something that pops up, and this is a perfect example of that. So once this penalty is paid off that Turkey owes, this should help with negotiations as far as the gas laws are concerned, at least in my opinion, but we will see. I think this was the one thing that was holding it up. 2 pipelines with pipes measuring 40 inches and the other 46 connected Iraq's Kirkuk to a region of Turkey, facilitating the transportation of oil in Sheena. These pipelines were established as part of the intergovernmental agreement dating back to 1973 with subsequent amendments. According to these agreements, Turkey is entitled to receive a commission for the transportation, storage, and loading of Iraq's oil within its territory. Each country is responsible for operating and maintaining the section of their pipelines that are situated within their respective boundaries. When Erdogan government consented to facilitating the transport and scale of Iraq's oil through contentious and opaque agreements with Kurdistan regional government, directing the resulting profits to Powertrans, Iraq contested this action. Baghdad argued that Turkey had violated agreements by utilizing pipelines and storage facilities without the consent of Iraq's Ministry of Oil consistently. Iraq initiated an arbitration case against Turkey and Turkish state company Petro Pipeline Corporation. And that was back in 2014. So as you can see, this has been going on for quite some time. Turkey denied the accusation leveled at Iraq government and countered by filing a claim asserting that Iraq owes Turkey $1.3 billion in compensation for its alleged violation of the pipeline agreement. In 2016, the ICC determined that Iraq's claims against Turkey were within the purview of the arbitration, excluding BOTAS from the proceedings. Consequently, the ICC opted to pursue the case against Turkey's government as the sole respondent to the complaint. That's one of their little fancy trucks. So what this article does, it goes through and gives you the history. And I will leave the link down below for you guys to check it out. But it gives you the history of what has been going on between Kurdistan, Baghdad, and Turkey. So if these 3 can get this settled and taken care of, then I think you're going to start to see more movement on what's going on with salaries for Kurdistan, the hydrocarbon gas laws, all that kind of stuff that's being held up. I think this would go a long ways of getting that started. I knew there was something causing a huge delay, but now you can see the bigger picture. Yeah, this article's long, and I know you guys don't want me sitting here reading the whole thing. So you can see right here, this is the court's findings. It said, a violation of the pipeline agreement, the KRG overpaid $1.3 billion in transportation fees to Turkey while selling oil through the pipeline between May 2014 and September 2018. The ICC ruled that Turkey must refund the excess payment to the Iraqi government as it was deemed to be a violation of the agreement. So that's money that has to go to Iraq, which anytime they can get large money like that helps them out big time. So again, we want to see this get settled, get it taken care of. I believe that's part of the biggest problem that's going on with Kurdistan and Baghdad. And if they get this settled, then they can come up with a new agreement that will allow Turkey to actually receive the oil coming out of the pipelines like they wanted in the first place. I don't know if they're just going to do it through Erdogan's family, though. I'm pretty sure that's a big no-no, and that might change, but the oil will start back up, allowing Iraq to make even more money. Anyways, that's it for now. Let me know what you think. I look forward to hearing from you. I'm out.